Welcome to the Catalyst Development InstaGATOR series, where the goal is just that, to instigate, to be an instigator, to instigate some thought, to instigate some change, but most importantly, it's where I take your life experiences, your wisdom, and your knowledge, and I attempt to pass it on to the masses. Remember, the goal is to be a catalyst, not just for ourselves, but for all those around us. This week's question: when you're feeling stressed out, what is your go to self care ritual? I decided to ask this question because I honestly know that I struggle with de stressing at times. And I got to thinking that, I can't be the only one. So, what better way to fill my cup than to ask everybody who uh, contributes, participates, or engages in the content on the Catalyst Development website? So once again, we had close to 50 or so responses. I want to thank everybody who contributed. I'll be sure to tag you in the post. I apologize up front, as always, if I mess up your name. Let's not wait any further. Go ahead and punch in that code so we can see how you may be able to increase and improve your de stressing techniques. Author Eleanor Brown once said that rest and self care are so important. When you take time to replenish your spirit, it allows you to serve, and we cannot serve with empty vessels. We're going to start our advice with the comments from Facebook. Tracy. Tracy chimed in and said diamond painting and paddleboarding. Now, I know what paddleboarding is, but I got to be honest, I had to look up what diamond painting was. And what was funny is there was somebody else, Shannon, who asked what diamond painting was as well. When I looked it up, it made sense to me. Like, I could see how that would be a de-stressor. It's kind of like color, coloring. Like, a lot of people do those color books and stuff like that to de-stress. Diamond painting's kind of the same thing. So thank you, Tracy. Christopher said, cleaning my J's. Now, for those that don't know what J's are, he's talking about Jordans, the sneaker. I got to be honest, Christopher, as a sneakerhead myself, yes, this is very distressing. I'll even go as far as to say, when being in the military, we're going to rewind back a little bit to when we used to wear BDUs, the green camos, and we had the black boots. I used to de-stress by polishing my boots. It was weird, but it always helped. Stacy. Stacy says, honestly, this is something I'm trying to figure out myself. That's exactly why I asked this question. Stacy, me and you are in the same exact boat. I'm trying to figure out better ways to de-stress myself. So, Stacy, I hope you tune in when I post this. I will tag you in it, and hopefully you can get some great ideas from the countless people who provided what they used to help. Elise said kayaking and pyrography. I gotta be honest, I don't know what pyrography is. I know what kayaking is, but I don't know what that is. I'm gonna have to look that up. I'm assuming it has something to do with fire. I hope I'm not wrong, but we're gonna find out. But thank you, Elise. Felisa, long shower, crossword puzzle, or music. I like the showers. Right? I will lose myself and just kind of sit there and just kind of let the water beat down. So I'm tracking what you're saying. Crossword puzzles have never been my thing, but I've heard a lot of people use them to kind of de-stress or get their minds off of things. And obviously music, yeah, I can agree with that. Jill said, go for a walk outside. There's something about being in nature that helps us calm down. There's something about just being outside that helps us calm down. I know personally, I try to get at least 2 to 3 workouts in a week that are outside. Now, I gotta be honest, sometimes the weather doesn't cooperate with me. But even if it's a little chilly or so, I just try to get outside. Being outside just makes me feel better. So, Jill, I completely understand. Tracy says, music and go for a run. Tracy, I am jealous, envious, and a little scratching my head. Running has never relaxed me. I know a million people that say they just go for a run and they lose themselves and that's where their best ideas come from. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never been one of those people. I've always been jealous of the folks that could do that. So kudos to you, Tracy. I have heard that running is extremely helpful for some individuals just to decompress their minds, right? They just take their minds off of everything and they actually really use running as a reflective tool. All right, small. I already knew this one was coming. Lift weights. Yes, right? I get it. So this is a gentleman who I had the privilege of getting to know a few years ago. He has his own kind of fitness company now, so I know him himself. He uses weightlifting as a de-stressor. I know a lot of people that do that. So kudos, man. Keep jamming away, man. I'm proud of you. All right, Shane says CrossFit. He got a little poke in the comments about CrossFit because we all know how CrossFitters are. I know Shane personally. Shane is not one of those CrossFitters, but he does love CrossFit. He loves how it pushes him, how it constantly raises the bar for him, how he can continue to challenge himself. So he uses that as a distressor. He's not one of your typical CrossFitters, I promise y'all. Shane is a good dude, but he relies on CrossFit. Letitia says working out, Peloton. Now, I'm starting to notice a little trend here with working out or getting outside and running. Peloton, this was the one mention of Peloton. I got to be honest with you, I have a lot of friends who swear by this Peloton. And I think it's fun, somewhat interactive, holds you accountable. So I like it. I like the fact that people are jumping on board and building communities in the Peloton community. So it's no surprise that did make the list. So thank you. I greatly appreciate that comment. Seth Lynn says weightlifting. Here we are again. The working out. I think there's a lot of people, whether or not it's weightlifting, running, or something physical that helps people de-stress. So a lot of people kind of tie back to that. Brandon says, pray to God, praise to God, and breathing exercises. All right, so before we get into the breathing exercises, because he does give an example, the praying, the faith. It doesn't matter to me what you believe in. I'm strong in my faith. I lean on my faith very heavily when I'm stressed out. But having some form of faith or spiritual well-being, I think, is very healthy for individuals. And it could be anything. It could be the gambit of things. I'm not here to judge you, just like I would hope you wouldn't judge me for my faith. But I know a lot of people lean on their faith in times of stress. The example he gives with the breathing exercises, he says, inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7 seconds, and then exhale for 8 seconds. Repeat as needed. So for those that are looking for meditation or breathing exercises, Brandon dropped a pretty good one right here. Ray, just like Brandon, Ray says praying. There are a lot of people who lean on their faith when they're in hard times, stressed out, when they're facing challenges or obstacles. There's a lot of people who lean on their faith and put certain outcomes into higher authority. That makes complete sense to me. All right, Rashad drops in and says hardcore music and shooting. I'm going to tell you, I know a lot of individuals who go to the gun range just to release stress, right? Music is another common theme here. A lot of people lose themselves in music. Makes sense to me. But shooting, I do know people who absolutely love going to the gun range, getting off a couple rounds, and it just helps them relax. Mike says video games. I can see that. Right? I know there's all types of different gamers. I know there's like professional gaming leagues now. Like this stuff is getting huge. Some people just use it to de-stress. Some people just will plug in a game or get on the PC and just lose themselves in the world that is their game. So Mike, appreciate you dropping that. If you don't mind me asking, what games you like to play? Drop them in the comments. Let some folks know. Casey says solitude. This one caught me off guard because, when you think about it, a lot of people are like, oh, let's get out and work out. Let's run. Let's swim. Let's listen to music. Solitude, I think, is a really good answer that a lot of people overlook. There are times when I get stressed out where sometimes I just want to go to the room and close the door and just kind of be there with my thoughts. And maybe through that thought and reflection, I can come to an answer or to a solution that may help me de stress. So I really like that, Casey, the solitude. So nicely done. Patrick. Patrick says going as fast and as hard as I can on my bike and listening to music. Here we are again. There are countless ways to exercise. You just have to find one that, one, suits your body, right, that you can physically do, and two, that you love to do, that you're passionate about. For some folks, it's running. Some folks, it's swimming. Some folks, it's just going for a walk. For Pat, it's getting on his bike. That makes sense. And then again, we got to listen to music, losing yourself in the music and just going. We got Michelle. Michelle dropped in and said yoga or singing loudly. Yoga ties right back into that exercise. I got to be honest with you. I tried yoga. I would like to be more deliberate and schedule my yoga in. I used to look at yoga and be like, yeah, whatever. Nah, man, I'm telling you, that stuff kicked my tail. I am not flexible, right? And I got out that it felt like a workout. So yoga, I have heard countless benefits on. And honestly, singing loudly, I do that in the car sometimes. Doesn't matter to me who looks at me weird or anything like that. I get it. I 100% get it. All right, Patrick says running, sometimes crying and getting hugs from my wife and kids. So again with the exercise, but I'm going to focus on the second part of that, the crying and getting hugs from my wife and kids. I appreciate Patrick. I appreciate your vulnerability with that. I appreciate you kind of opening up with that. Like that really means a lot. That took a lot of courage, I know, to type that out, but I think you're spot on. Sometimes when we're stressed out and we're trying to decompress or de-stress, we tend to push down these emotions. We tend to try to swallow these emotions or compartmentalize. Sometimes we just need to let it out. And let it out may be yelling into a pillow, or just going into your car and yelling, or closing your office door and yelling. Sometimes it may just be crying and getting hugs from your loved ones, feeling their embrace, letting them tell you through physical contact that they are here for you. So I appreciate the vulnerability with that, man. That was awesome. Andrew says Spotify playlist and coding. So here we are again, another individual who loses themselves in music. And again, almost like the gaming side of the house, Andrew chooses coding. He likes to code. He probably gets so lost. And Andrew, like, comment, let me know if I'm hitting the mark here. You probably get so in tune with coding and the creation of whatever you're working on that you kind of forget about the troubles, and it helps you de-stress. That's awesome. Casey says going for a drive with loud music. So here we are, getting out of the house again, losing ourselves in music. I like it. I like going for drives and just kind of losing myself. My favorite time of the day, me and my wife actually used to go out on a lot more of these. We probably need to start doing it again, was right as the sun's getting ready to set. Like, I absolutely love that time of the day and just driving around. Hopefully it's nice and cool outside. We can crack the windows a little bit and we just talk. So Casey, that makes complete sense to me. Lali, a quiet scenic drive. So a little different than Casey, right? Casey blasting the music out and he's just going. Lali says, I just want a quiet scenic drive. I can see that. It gets you out of the house. It gets you out of the house. It gets you maybe even away from your problems, away from your stress. And you're going for a scenic drive and you're just taking everything in. You're taking in the beauty that is all around us that we honestly take for granted. Virginia. Virginia says, bottle of gin with lots of ice and limes. Look, I will never condone alcoholism, but I'm going to be honest with you. There has been a couple times, maybe once or twice this past week, where I've had to come home and you know what? I told the wife, I was like, I just want to sit with a nice drink and just relax. So Virginia, I 100% understand what you are saying. Sometimes it's just, I just want to sit and chill, kick back, got me a nice bottle of gin, lots of ice, lots of limes, and I want to forget about the worries of the world for at least, the next couple hours. Jana says, friends and a good laugh. This one I like because I think when we're stressed out or we're facing challenges or we are, uh, facing obstacles, we tend to step away, right? We tend to seclude ourselves. And I know we already talked about solitude being a benefit, but for some individuals, it's not. For some individuals, they need to get out and about and around people. They need to pull energy from other people to help them de-stress. And let's be honest, there is no probably greater de-stressor than just having a good laugh. Thank you. Rhino, what's up, man? Rhino says gun range and golf range. Look, I know this dude. He stays at the golf range, stays there. I know a lot of people who golf just like it is a ritual. Every weekend they go, and that is their reward for making it through the week. Dropping another gun range again. We talked about that a little bit earlier with individuals who like to go to the range and just let off a couple rounds, de-stress that way. But golf, I'm not surprised to see you say that, brother. Hope all is well. Patricia says quilting, right? I love it. Nobody ever thinks of this anymore. But quilting, just sitting down, doing something with your hands, and just losing yourself in the moment. Losing yourself. We'll go back. This is kind of like the coding piece. As you're quilting, you are creating. And as you're creating, you are losing yourself in that process. It helps you de-stress. Morgan. Morgan says, clicking add to cart. Yes. So before I comment on this, Morgan, I want to let you know that this was the most liked comment. I already know my wife probably likes this comment. There are people that de-stress by shopping. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what? You're stressed. You feel like you deserve something, man. Go out there and click add to cart. I get it. It makes complete sense. So thank you, Morgan, and congrats. You got the most liked comment. So apparently there's some other folks that like to click add to cart. Tammy says, having a drink, adding to my Amazon cart. You must be hanging around with Morgan, right? Or shooting when I can. Again, boom, having a drink, relaxing drink, sitting down, chilling, letting the stress just go away, adding to the Amazon cart, right? A little retail therapy. That's what we call it. And then shooting, going back out to the range. So I think it's pretty interesting that we've seen probably, 2 or 3 of those now. Ashley says meditation and gratitude. Yes, meditation is something I wish I honestly did more of. I probably just need to be more deliberate. I don't have any excuse not to do it. But I do notice when I meditate, or at least take a little bit of time in the morning and at night, I'm a little bit more clear-headed. My thoughts are a little bit more straightforward, and I can align them a little bit better. Gratitude is probably my personal favorite answer in this entire thing. I am huge on gratitude. I'm huge on being grateful. I get it. A lot of us don't have the lives that we may want, the lives that we may think we deserve. A lot of us are facing struggles and obstacles and challenges and internal battles. I promise you, we still have a ton to be grateful for. And reminding yourself of that and focusing on what you have to be grateful for really puts a lot of things into perspective. So awesome. Thank you. Sally says M&Ms. Yep, I can get down with that. M&Ms. Personally, Sally, I'm an ice cream person. Whether or not I'm stressed or I'm celebrating or I am not celebrating, you know what? There's not a day where I can't think, you know what? I'd like some ice cream. Ice cream is my vice. That's the reason I work out so much, because I love eating my ice cream. So when you say M&Ms, I get it. Makes sense. Jalen says jiu-jitsu and kickboxing class. There are a lot of people who get into martial arts and you think like it's stressful and it's hard, and yes, it is, but it's also de-stressing. You can also let out your frustrations in a safe and healthy manner. So Jalen, man, spot on. I know you love going to these classes. You've talked to me about it on numerous occasions, so keep going at it. Emmy says rum raisin ice cream. See, Emmy, you after my own heart. Like, I just talked about ice cream. I don't know about no rum raisin, but I'm not here to judge you. I'm more of a chocolate Reese type of individual, but me and you, we are right here on the ice cream. Shannon says, working in the garage on a shop project, fixing the family car, or anything to focus on one thing. I think that's huge. Usually when we're stressed, we're all over the place. Like our minds are just all over the place and they're just running and running and running. Being able to focus on one thing eliminates a lot of that outside noise. So that makes sense to me. Working on the garage, something with your hands, fixing the family vehicle, again, something with your hands. So I love it. Valerie says deep breathing. We had a quick example before. We had the meditation that was already brought up. So deep breathing, yep, very, very helpful. Kit said walk or kayaking. This is the second time we've heard kayaking. I don't know if I've ever been kayaking. I've been on boats. I've been tubing. Never really kayaking. I might have to give it a try. This is the second time that has come up. April says meditation, right? So this, again, we're starting to see a theme, meditation. Leilina, cleaning. Let me tell you, when I saw this, I was like, yes, I know multiple people who actually clean to de-stress. Not only that, there's something about being in a room that's straightened up and clean that just helps, like for me personally. Clutter stresses me out. I'm very OCD. Everything has its place. So for me, clutter stresses me out. So you can couple cleaning as a de-stressor, plus also being in a clean, decluttered room. Again, this is just for me. That could be extremely de-stressing. So yes. Luke says, wrenching out on my bike and drawing. Yes. Again, working with hands, being able to focus, and then drawing, we get back to this is the same as the quilting and the coding and the gaming, right? Drawing is one of those things, the painting that we talked about, it's creation, it's imagination. Your mind just wanders and you just go. And I know a lot of people who draw and paint, even calligraphy, that really use that as a de-stressor. Barry says, transition in my head to a big picture view of the planet. Okay? Acknowledge that my pain in reality is very little. Then calmly move forward with a few choice words loudly. So we're talking about affirmations. We're talking about speaking positively to ourselves, that positive self-talk that we've talked before about in episodes. I think, again, this goes back to the perspective. You take a big picture of the world. You acknowledge your pain, that it is there, but maybe in reality, it's not as big as you think it is. And then calmly move forward with a few choice positive affirmation words. If this works for Barry, who knows? It might work for you. Aaron says memes. I got to be honest with you. I have gotten caught a couple times losing myself, like just fishing through social media and falling for like just the memes, because I'm going to be real. Some people are like super talented. And let's be honest, Jennifer mentioned all the Bernie memes that came out. Bernie with the mittens. Big mood Bernie, right? With the mittens. I thought those were hilarious. So those constantly keep me cracking up. So Aaron, I get it. Summer says dance. This is almost a form as exercise. The greatest part about dancing is you don't have to be able to dance. Just dance. Just dance. Let it go. It's almost like working out. It's almost like, doing all those other physical activities we talked about. You don't even have to be good at it. Just dance. Spot on, Summer. Sheila says music. Here we are again. People just want to lose themselves in a song. Montrese says jog. Get outside. Go for a jog. Something, again, I talked about it earlier. Something about being in the environment. Just being outside. Amy says, I lay down. Amy says, I lay down and I hate that the person above me jogs. Montrese, she's talking about you. And then she said, for crying out loud. I know Amy's just poking fun, right? So Amy says that she lays down. Amy probably has the same feeling that I do about people that enjoy like running and stuff like that. Like I get jealous, I'm envious, and I'm like, oh, For crying out loud, like I wish I could do that. I wish I found, because it's healthy. Like it's win-win. You are doing something that is healthy and de-stressing. So yeah, that was funny. I forgot I typed that up and then I caught it and it kind of made me laugh. So Becky says, I prefer a pre-stress ritual. Ah, see, I like that. Daily workouts and running, but it doesn't always work. So Becky talks about pre-stress ritual, right? Doing things that will help you deal with stress when it comes. I like that. But it doesn't always work, she says. So then I can get my son and go for a walk in the park. There's something different about stepping away and seeing the world through a child's eyes. I love that, Becky. Yes. Do you remember what it was like when we were younger? Like everything was so innocent and the world had yet tainted us. The fact that she uses her son, and I say uses not in a bad way, but she uses her son to get out and just watch how he takes in the world. That is really awesome. I really, really like that. Lakira says, bubble bath, wine, paint my nails, go to the room and play some R&B and neo soul. Yes, that's a ritual, right? That's a routine. Bubble bath, wine, we can do all those, right? Like boom, boom, right? Paint the nails, go to the room, play some R&B, neo soul, just lose yourself. Like the pampering, the self-care. Yeah, I can see how that will help you de-stress. That's it for Facebook. So thank y'all for chiming in on Facebook. Next up, we're going to hit LinkedIn. I only had one person hit me up on LinkedIn, Eric. Thank you. Like Eric's constantly there. So he chooses to use the LinkedIn. But what Eric says is some quiet time rolling out the old man back. So he's probably talking about foam rolling. That, yes, that is nice. I too, Eric, have an old man back. He says he does about 5 to 10 minutes of meditation on a simple app. That's the greatest part about meditation is I too have like a meditation app that you can just get onto and it'll either walk you through meditation, it'll play meditation music. So I get it. And then he says if I'm really struggling, he does some cold water therapy and he breathes through it. It reminds him that he can control how he responds to most things. I really like that. I want to say this was the only time it was mentioned in any of these, but I do cold water therapy as well. I will get in the shower in the morning. I'll wash up, and then right before I get out of the shower, I will slam that bad boy straight on cold, and I will stay there as long as I possibly can. Yes, it is uncomfortable. Yes, it sucks. I'm not going to lie to you, but it really, number one, it wakes me up. But number two, I try to breathe through it, just like Eric mentioned. I try to breathe through it, and at first, I'm going to be honest with you, I lasted like 5 seconds. Now I'm up to about 45 where I can actually stand it. And I love the mindset that it just starts me in. So cold water therapy, if you haven't tried that, give it a try, right? Don't knock it till you try it. That's what they say. And if you don't like it, just go back to your warm showers. All right. On to Instagram. Instagram, I got the Mayor Salaj. I'm going to jack that name up. It's a username on Instagram. I apologize, but this individual said training. Again, we're back into the working out and the physical activity. There's a lot of folks that like that. That is probably the number one thing that we've seen in here, some form of physical activity and or training. Benson says, shockingly, the gym. The mental clarity helps me reassess a situation. Yeah, I too get very clear in the gym. It's not that my mind just completely blanks out. Obviously, I'm focused on working out and getting a good workout in, but I do get clarity from the gym. Spot on, Vincent. Alexis says, acknowledging my blessings, thinking about all the simple things I have to be thankful for. A roof over my head, food in the fridge, my parents, my family, my dogs. Realizing these things helps me refocus and realize what actually matters. Yes, this gets right back to the gratitude piece, the thankful piece. I promise you, we all have something in our lives, multiple somethings to be thankful for. Sometimes you just have to look for them. We end up taking them for granted, but if they were taken away from us, it would be devastating. We can't lose sight of that. Love it. SGB, this is Mom Dukes, by the way. She said, get out of the house. Yes, I concur with that. You need to get out the house more. I need you out the house more. You can always come down here and live with us. I got a room for you. Anoma says some type of exercising. Journaling. Journaling what's going on in my head, meditation, and if that doesn't work, sleep. Yes. Yeah. They say, and I've probably mentioned this before, they say when you're tired, there's usually two reasons for it, or there's two types of tired. One, you need sleep, you need rest. Or two, you need peace. So sometimes you need to sleep. Journaling, I really like that one. There's a lot of people that get into journaling and just kind of write down their thoughts to get them out of their head, right? So they can go back and reflect on them. But when we keep them in our head, they just keep rattling around, rattling around, rattling around. Once you write it down, you can literally tell yourself, I don't have to worry about this. I've already have it written down. I'm not going to forget about it. So, thank you for that. Mo Better. Mo Better said, take a step back and recalibrate and objectively, not emotionally, digest the situation. Go through my EQ steps, then go through my worry solution model. After accomplishing all three of these things in order, I'm usually back in the game. I like that. So, all right, so we got take a step back, recalibrate, right? Think objectively, not emotionally. So for me, I'm the same way, right? When my emotions go up, my logic usually goes down, right? You digest the situation, you take it all in, right? You gather all the facts. You go through your EQ steps. I'm a huge, huge fan of EQ. I think EQ is far more important than IQ. And then he goes through his worry solution model. All right, so I might need you to drop some additional info about this worry solution model because I have no doubt that some of our listeners, maybe a lot of our listeners, could benefit from getting a little bit more detail on that. So if you don't mind, please drop it in the comments or shoot me a message and I'll make sure we get it out. But if it can help people, that's what we're here for. And I mean, that pretty much wraps everything up. We hit all of our social media platforms. We have got a ton of great tips and tricks to help you with your self-care, to help you when you're stressed out. Going theme was music. We had kayaking. We had exercising. We had anything with our hands, like working on a car, to coding, to quilting, shooting, going to a gun range, meditation, gratitude. There are tons of them. So if you struggle in this area, please go back, re-listen, check the posts, scroll through the comments, and try some of these things because I promise you, there's something in here that will help you, right? There's a number of self-care techniques that you can use the next time you're feeling overstressed, all right here. There was at least, we had 50 comments. Some of them obviously doubled up and kind of hit in the same areas, but I guarantee you, if you go back through, that there's probably 30 different steps or 30 different techniques that you could take that could help you de-stress. The best part about this, it's provided for you by you. Thank you again for everybody that contributed. As always, thank you so much for spending time with me today and allowing me to invest a little bit in your development. Thank you for allowing me to pass on your helpful hints, your techniques, your tricks, your knowledge, wisdom, and experience. That's what this is about. If you found any value in today's topic, or someone who needs to hear this message, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Until next time, keep searching for that code to unlocking your fullest potential. Be a catalyst, not just for you, but for all those around you. Take care.